Hello students, welcome back to our online class with Best English School. So today in this video we would like to start a new chapter of science subject, that is sorting materials into groups. So in this video we will discuss about the sorting materials into groups, how the materials would be divided into a groups, the objects would be divided into a groups. So in this video we will discuss all about that one only. Okay students, so I hope that you will understand and you will enjoy this video. So we won't waste our time. Let's get started students. So our subject is social science chapter, our subject is science chapter number 4, sorting materials into groups. So let's get started. 4.1 Objects around us. We have seen that our food and clothes have so much variety in them. Not just food and clothes, there is such a vast variety of objects wherever we see around us. A chair, a bullock cart, a cycle, cooking utensils, books, clothes, toys, water, stones, and many other objects. All these objects have different shapes, colors, and uses. You can see it in the 4.1 objects around us. So students, in this paragraph just wanted to tell us that there are a lot of varieties about the food and clothes, right? We are having a lot of varieties of food and we are having a lot of varieties of clothes. So we can say that chair, bullock cart, cycle, cooking utensil, these all are the many other objects, and all the objects are having shapes and colors and its uses, right students? Look around and identify objects that are round in shape. Our list may include a rubber ball, a football, and a glass marble. If we include objects that are nearly round, our list could also include objects like apples, oranges, and an earthen pitcher, means ghara. Suppose we were looking for objects that edible. We might include all the items that we have listed in tables 1.1, 2, 3 in chapter 1. We might also find that some of those round shaped objects we just listed out and are also in this group. Let us say we wish to make a group of objects that are made of plastics, buckets, lunch boxes, toys, water containers, pipes, and many such objects may find a place in this group. There are so many ways to group objects. In the above examples, we have grounded objects on the basis of their shape or the materials they are made from. All objects around us are made of one or more materials. These materials may be glass, metal, plastics, wood, cotton, paper, mud, or soil. Can you think of more examples of materials? So students, in this topic we are all talking about the materials, means a lot of objects are round in shape like a rubber ball, football, and a glass marble, right? And a lot of shapes are all those round shapes like an apples, oranges, and an earthen pitcher. So suppose we are looking for an object that is edible, that we have already making that list. Some of those would be round shape and some of those would be in a different shapes. So if we make a group of objects that are made of plastics, जो objects plastics के बने हैं, bucket के, lunch boxes के, वो सारे कौन से objects में find out होंगे, कौन से objects में जाएंगे. So ऐसे देखें तो ऐसे बहुत सारे group objects है स्टूडेंट्स, जिसके अलग अलग शेप्स होंगे और जो मटेरियल्स के भी अलग अलग प्रोडक्ट्स बनेंगे. सो ऑल ऑब्जेक्ट्स अराउंड अस आर मेड ऑफ वन और मोर मटेरियल. जितने भी ऑब्जेक्ट्स हैं वो एक या उससे ज़्यादा मटेरियल्स के होते हैं स्टूडेंट्स, ठीक है. Now we will see the activity 1. Let us collect as many objects as possible from around us. Each of us could get some everyday objects from home, and we could also collect some objects from the classroom or from outside the school. What will we have in our collection? Chalk, pencil, notebook, rubber, duster, a hammer, nail, soap, spoke of a wheel, bat, matchbox, salt, potato. We can also list objects that we can think of but cannot bring to the classroom. For example, wall, trees, doors, tractor, road. So students, this is an activity that you have to collect many objects as possible, and you have to distribute it in other groups. That is, already you have a lot of groups over there, and you have to make that collection, and you have to chalk it out with them. So that could be in your classroom also, but right now we all are not in our classroom, right? So students, if you are not, afterwards a lot of separate materials are there. Separate all objects from this collection that are made from paper or wood. This way, we have divided all objects into two groups. One group has the objects that are made from paper or wood, while the other group has the objects that are not made of these materials. Similarly, we could separate the things that are used for preparing food. Let us be a little more synthetic. List all objects collected in table 4.1. Try to identify the materials that each one is made of. It would be fun to make this in a large table, collecting information about as many objects as possible. It may seem difficult to find out the materials out of which some of these objects are made. In such cases, discuss with your friends, teacher, parents to identify the material. सो स्टूडेंट्स, इसमें ये बोला गया है कि हमारे पास सोच लो अभी दो ग्रुप्स है, जिसमें एक है पेपर वाले ग्रुप और एक है वुड वाले ग्रुप. तो जो भी प्रोडक्ट्स पेपर वाले हैं वो सारे पेपर प्रोडक्ट्स में और पेपर ग्रुप्स में जाएंगे, और जो भी वुड प्रोडक्ट्स है वो सारे वुड प्रोडक्ट्स में जाएंगे. तो वी शुड हैव टू सेपरेट द थिंग्स and are used for preparing food. So we all know that in the 4.1 table, this one you can see we have identified the materials. हमें वो materials को identify करना है कि वो कौन से group में जाएगा. It may be difficult to find out, but it would be then afterwards easier to us. If you wanted to discuss it, you can discuss it with your teacher, friends and parents also. Okay. Now we will see the 2 activity 2. See, activity 2 is none other than about the 4.2 product. Different types of objects that are made from the same material. See, wood से क्या बनता है? चेयर, टेबल, प्लग, पुलेट, कार्ट एंड इट्स व्हील. पेपर से क्या बनता है? बुक्स, नोटबुक्स, न्यूज़पेपर, टॉयज़ और कैलेंडर्स बनते हैं, राइट? See now, what do we find from these tables? First, listen to me carefully, students, okay? This is a very simple languages. First, we grouped objects in many different ways. We then found that objects around us are made of different materials. At materials, an object is made of a single material. An object could also be made of many materials. And then again, one material could be used for making many other different objects. What decides which material should be used for making any given object? It seems that we need to know more about different materials. So students, इसमें ये बताया गया है, and this is a very easy टॉपिक, इजी चैप्टर, कि जितने भी टेबल्स है, जितने भी ग्रुप्स बने हुए, उसमें आपको फाइंड आउट करके मटेरियल्स ऑब्जेक्ट्स बताने हैं. एट अ टाइम एन ऑब्जेक्ट इज़ मेड ऑफ सिंगल मटेरियल. जो ऑब्जेक्ट है वो एक ही मटेरियल से बना हुआ चाहिए, और ऐसे भी प्रोडक्ट्स होते हैं जो बहुत सारे मटेरियल से बने हुए होते हैं. तो आपको वो चीज़ डिवाइड करके बताना है स्टूडेंट्स. सो दिस इज़ अ सॉर्ट ऑफ वेरी इजी प्रोसेस, राइट? प्रॉपर्टीज़ ऑफ मटेरियल्स. Have you ever wondered why a tumbler is not made with a piece of cloth? Recall our experiment with pieces of cloth in chapter 3. And also keep in mind that we generally use a tumbler to keep a liquid. Therefore, would it not be silly if we were to make a tumbler out of cloth? What we need for a tumbler is glass, plastic, metal, or other such material that will hold water. Similarly, it would not be wise to use paper like materials for cooking vessels. We see then that we choose a material to make an object depending on its properties and the purpose for which the object is to be used. So, what are all the properties of materials that would be important for their usage? Some properties are discussed here. सो स्टूडेंट्स इन दिस प्रॉपर्टीज़ ऑफ मटेरियल्स, इसमें ये बताया गया है कि जैसे हमने चैप्टर 3 में जाना था फाइबर टू फैब्रिक, राइट, कि क्लोथ को हम लोग किस तरह से यूज़ करते हैं, किस तरह से वो पूरा का पूरा एक क्लोथ बनता है जिससे हम लोग वेयर करते हैं, राइट, देन वूल, सिल्क, एंड देन आफ्टरवर्ड्स द क्लोथ वुड बी मेड अप. Like that similar way, if we wanted to make a troubler out of क्लोथ से ट्रबलर बनाना है हमें, तो हमें क्या चाहिएगा? ग्लास, प्लास्टिक, मेटल, राइट, और अदर ऐसी चीज़ जो पानी को संभाल सके, पकड़ सके. तो कुकिंग वेसल्स भी हो सकते हैं. तो हमें देखें तो ऐसे प्रोडक्ट्स तो बहुत सारे होते हैं, राइट स्टूडेंट्स, एंड दैट इज़ क्वाइट ईजी. यूजिंग अ क्लॉथ टम्बलर, बट इट इज़ नॉट सो ईजी. दैट वुड बी अ वेस्टेज ऑफ वाटर ऑल्सो, बिकॉज कोई कपड़े में पानी नहीं रह सकता है. दे वॉन्ट बी स्टोर्ड अबाउट इट. सो देयर आर सम other properties also that we have discussed over here. Appearance. Materials usually look different from each other. Wood looks very different from iron. Iron appears different from copper or aluminum. At the same time, there may be some similarities between iron, copper, and aluminum that are not there in wood. So, students, इसमें अपीयरेंस में ये बताया गया कि जो मटेरियल्स है जो हम लोग यूज़ करते हैं वो सिमिलर नहीं होता है. वुड लुक्स वेरी डिफरेंट. वो वुड बहुत डिफरेंट होता है आयरन से. एंड जो आयरन बनता है वो किससे डिफरेंट होता है? कॉपर और एल्यूमिनियम से डिफरेंट होता है. तो एक टाइम में हम लोग ये बोल सकते हैं कि इनमें बहुत सारी सिमिलैरिटीज़ होती है. किसमें? आयरन, कॉपर और एल्यूमिनियम में स्टूडेंट्स, राइट. तो अब हम लोग एक्टिविटी 3 के बारे में देखेंगे. ये आपको एक्टिविटी 3 रीड करते हैं. कलेक्ट सम पीसेज ऑफ डिफरेंट मटेरियल्स लाइक पेपर, कार्डबोर्ड, वुड, कॉपर वायर, एल्यूमिनियम शीट, chalk. Do any of these appear shiny? Separate the shiny materials into a group. Now observe as the teacher cuts each material into 2 pieces and look at the freshly cut surface. What do you notice? Does the freshly cut surface of some of these materials appear shiny? Include these objects also in the group of shiny materials. Do you notice such a shine or luster in the other materials? Cut them anyway as you can. Repeat this in the class with as many materials as possible and make a list of those which and without luster. Instead of cutting, you can rub the surface of materials with sandpaper to see if it has luster. So students, ये एक्सपेरिमेंट आपको करके देखना है. आपको क्या लेना है? पेपर, कार्डबोर्ड, वुड एंड कॉपर वायर और एल्यूमिनियम शीट और चॉक. और सी ये बनाओगे तो आप ऐसा जो ये दिख रहा है कटिंग पीसेस ऑफ मटेरियल्स, ये आपको ऐसा बनाना होगा. एंड इसको आप जब भी कट करोगे पार्ट बाय पार्ट, ये कट होते जाएंगे. कटिंग पीसेस ऑफ मटेरियल्स टू सी इफ़ दे हैव लस्टर. इसको आप कट करोगे तो आपको ये पता चलेगा कि इसमें लस्टर है कि नहीं है स्टूडेंट्स. ओके, तो यू शुड हैव टू ट्राई दिस एक्टिविटी. फाइन स्टूडेंट्स. Materials that have such luster are usually metals. जो materials में luster होते हैं वो सारे metals होते हैं. Iron, copper, aluminum and gold are the examples of metals. Some metals often lose their shine and appear dull because of the action of air. and moisture on them. We therefore notice the luster only on their freshly cut surface. When you visit an ironsmith or a workshop, look out for freshly cut surfaces of metal rods to see if they have luster. सो स्टूडेंट्स, ये जो लस्टर आप देखना चाहते हो तो आपको कोई आयरन स्मिथ के पास या फिर कोई वर्कशॉप में जाना चाहिए जिसमें आपको डेफिनेटली दिख जाएगा लस्टर होता है कि नहीं होता। ये एक मेटल होता है जो बहुत शाइनी होता है, बट एक्चुअली वो थोड़ा डल भी होता है। वो ऐसा क्यों होता है? क्योंकि जो एक्शन ऑफ एयर होता है और मॉइस्चर वो दोनों साथ में होता है, इसलिए वो ईजिली कट हो जाता है स्टूडेंट्स। ओके। Hardness. When you press different materials with your hands, some of them may be hard to compress, while others can be easily compressed. Take a metal key and try to scratch with it. The surface of a piece of wood, aluminum, a piece of stone, a nail, candle, chalk, any other material or object, you can easily scratch some materials while some cannot be scratched so easily. Materials which can be compressed or scratched easily are called soft, while some other materials which are difficult to compress are called hard. For example, cotton or sponge is soft, while iron is hard. In appearance, materials can have different properties like luster, hardness, be rough or smooth. Can you think of other properties that describe the appearance of a material? सो इसमें से हार्डनेस में क्या बताया जा रहा है कि आप कोई भी डिफरेंट मटेरियल्स लो और उसको अपने हाथ में पकड़ो। इफ़ दैट इज़ हार्ड टू कॉम्प्रेस इट, दैट अदर्स कैन बी ईजिली कॉम्प्रेस, मतलब वो ज़्यादा कॉम्प्रेस करने से हार्ड हो रहा है तो दूसरा आप कोई प्रोडक्ट यूज़ करोगे तो वो बहुत ज़्यादा ईजी होगा। ऐसे बोला जाता है कि जो मेटल की होते हैं उसको आप स्क्रैच करोगे तो उसके जो सरफेस होते हैं ना बच्चों, उसमें वुड होता है, तो उसमें से चॉक, कैंडल, नेल, ऐसे बहुत सारे मटेरियल्स और ऑब्जेक्ट्स ऑक्यूपाई हो सकते हैं। वैसे देखें तो कोई भी मटेरियल्स आप इजीली स्क्रैच करोगे, वाइल सम कैन नॉट बी स्क्रैच सो ईज़िली, दूसरे कोई स्क्रैच ईजिली नहीं हो पाता है स्टूडेंट्स। वैसे देखें मटेरियल्स विच कैन बी कॉम्प्रेस्ड और स्क्रैच्ड, ऐसे मटेरियल्स भी है जो कॉम्प्रेस्ड हो सकते हैं और स्क्रैच भी हो सकते हैं। कोई सॉफ्ट होते हैं और कोई भी हार्ड होते हैं स्टूडेंट्स। ओके। Cotton or sponge is soft while iron is hard students. Okay. In appearance materials can have different properties. Materials के बहुत सारे properties होते हैं जैसे luster, hardness, be rough और smooth. Can you think of other properties that describe the appearance of a material? आप ये बता सकते हो कि कोई other properties जो appearance को describe कर सके students? So now students, we will discuss about the soluble or insoluble. Activity 4. Collect sample of some solid substances such as sugar, salt, chalk powder, sand and sawdust. Take 5 glasses or beakers. Fill each one of them about 2/3 with water. Add a small amount of sugar to the first glass, salt to the second, and similarly add small amounts of the other substances into other glasses. Stir the contents of each of them with a spoon. Spoon मतलब चम्मच. Wait for a few minutes. Observe what happened to the substance added to water. See, you can see it. This one is the table 4.4. कौन सा dissolve हो गया और कौन सा disappear हो गया, right? हम लोग पानी में एक जगह सॉल्ट और एक जगह चीनी रखेंगे तो ऑब्वियसली सॉल्ट वाला डिज़ोल्व हो जाएगा एंड चीनी वाला डिज़ोल्व जल्दी नहीं होता है, राइट स्टूडेंट्स? You will notice that some substances have completely disappeared or dissolved in water. That's right. मैंने आपको अभी बता दिया ये चीज़. And we say that these substances are soluble in water. Other substances do not mix with water and do not appear even after we stir for a long time. These substances are insoluble in water. Water plays an important role in the functioning of our body because it can dissolve a large number of substances. Do liquids also dissolve in water? So students, up to here, do liquids also dissolve in water? Up to here we are completing our this video, chapter 4 part 1 students. Okay, so in the next video we will discuss the half part of this subject chapter of this subject. So till there students, stay home, stay safe. With the help of this line I would like to pack up. Bye bye, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.